Forgive my attire and speech etiquette. I only learned about this at 4:30 today. So I'm going to say something a little uncharacteristic for me, for those of you that know me, as I typically strive to stay humble and discreet. There's theoretically, if we live in a city free of corruption, no one who stands to gain more financially than my family and I do from this proposed zone overlay. We own slightly more than half the area in the proposed overlay between B to D and the Boulevard to 4th, and yet we do not want to see this zone overlay pass. I'll repeat myself, we as multi-generational Petalumans do not want this. Approving this is the wedge that's going to split Petaluma wide open to further abuse by developers whose only interest in our town is to make a quick buck. They'll be gone before the ink is dry on the check, and we'll be left with the spoils. I know, I've had lunch with them. I'm very happy to see that there has been so much emphasis on one of my properties in the zone, the old Foster's Freeze. Let's talk about that. And by the way, I've never been reached out to or consulted by staff for their reports, though I'm used as an example. But thank you for using its current state as an indication of how you'd like us all to perceive the neighborhood as justification for your amendment. We tried a couple years ago to make that restaurant more attractive and compliant with ADA codes. This resulted in what would have been roughly an additional 100 square feet to the building. We were then told by the city that we would need a significant amount of additional parking, which they knew was unattainable, and so we've struggled to attract tenants. There's more to the story, but that's just a taste of it. I just think everyone here should have some context as to how the city actually treats locals if they're going to try and make our property their shining example of what they consider underutilized. Meanwhile, and the reason we're all here, there's a project across the street that seeks to not only gain special exemption, but change our laws in what would appear to be a partnership with the city. Because the city could and should have told them long ago, no, this is Petaluma's height limit, these are our parking requirements, and so on, but they didn't. Instead, the narrative has been, let's see what we can get away with. And that's the wedge I spoke of. Let's get this one in there, and then we'll be free to do it all over town, because why stop at 60? Let's go to 75, as already mentioned, or 100, and so on and so on. Quick opinion, there should be nothing constructed in Petaluma, especially west of the river, that is built taller than the clock tower. Likewise, it's been mentioned in past meetings that the facade and design of the building is actually in keeping with the neighboring architecture like Theater Square, a set of buildings that made little effort to complement the 19th century architecture downtown. But that was part of the wedge that got this hideous modern architecture you see popping up all over accepted. And we need not to compare ourselves to other cities, because if we follow suit, there won't be much left of Petaluma to call Petaluma. I don't want Petaluma to be modeled after or look like another city. It stands alone, and that's why we live here. I look forward to the day I can order a soft serve ice cream from the old Foster's Freeze and look towards down.
Well, thank you for that.